I am making a DuraClick EDC click pin. So this requires an 8mm drill bit. I wonder if I could use a 5/16. Let me measure this. Yeah, 5/16. I think 5/16 is, what we could do. Let's actually hit it with a 5/16. Worst case, then we might have to bore it out just a little bit, but that would be okay, right? Yeah, 5/16 is 7.94. Yeah. I'm gonna try that. We like it right here and right here. Excellent. So I'm gonna hit these with the bandsaw right quick. See that chuck that's right there is good for this purpose, like peck drilling. But this is also fine. I'm not going to take it out yet because I want to make sure that the tube actually fits. And it does. Man, that's a nice fit. A little bit of glue around it. Sweet. And then we'll come back over and then barrel trim it on the lathe. Here's the components. When I'm doing a kit, I like to have a paper towel ready. Wipe my fingers off as soon as I get anything on them, because I don't want to have to sand my fingerprints off. And I don't suggest doing this on a lathe either, but you had, or if you wanted to, you obviously could. So this is where it got drilled in. It started this way, went that direction, and then you can see because of how it chips out at the end sometimes. You could try to be gentle, but it's still going to happen. So just make sure that you give yourself enough on the blank. But we absolutely did that. So we're going to start here. I always test fit the blank, make sure it fits. And then make sure that when I'm pressing it in, I'll be able to actually push it as far as I want it to go. So there we go. And it's already scuffed as well. Some of the other kits, or some kits just come pre-scuffed, which is pretty cool. Okay. A little bit there. Oh. We're doing my sanding and polishing there, but there. So one end is going to go into the jaws, and then the other end, and I wish it was beveled, but it's not. So, hey, look pretty set. No wet at all. Excellent. All right, so normally I use a barrel trimmer, but here we're actually just going to try to walk it back with this. Nope. That's nice. Take a look at that. Awesome. All right, we're going to flip it around. Do it again. Now, I am being probably slower than I would be normally. And that's partially because I didn't know how it was going to work out. And let's go ahead and make sure. I'd say we're pretty darn good. That's an awesome way of doing that. Yeah, I hadn't tried it before, actually. I hadn't tried this upcoming thing either, so we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty optimistic. I can't really imagine why it wouldn't work how I want it to. But that's why you try stuff out, you know? Like, oh, I didn't think of that. Dang it. Okay. So I have the adapter over there. And ideally, I would have the other one over here. But unfortunately, I don't know where it went. Oh, okay. All right, get that set, positioned. Take a look. How are we spinning? What you're going to run into is it's going to change the dimensions of your guide, because your bushings are generally your guide, and if you start changing the diameter of them, it's going to change what the actual guide is. So just kind of something to think about if you're considering that. Grab some water right quick. Show you another cool thing. If you do like micro mesh pads, another little trick, and you could probably incorporate it on other things as well, but I found this most useful for micro mesh is this. So you see my lines. So I got one line because that's the coarsest grit, and then I've got what, just the 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until you get to the last one. There's 9. There's 9 different ones, but you could just put the lines right there, and that'll help keep you on track with which one you're on. Okay, well, I like the, obviously like the finish that you get from micro mesh. However, you still think it's going to get shinier. Let's see, we got this little guy, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. A little bit of that. So here we are. There we go. So we got some gunmetal hardware here. And I'm just putting some of the components together. And then I'm gonna figure out where I actually want to the pin or orient the pin. Ooh, all right, drop all these back. Okay, so when you are pressing this together, make sure you got the clip in if you wanted it in place. Otherwise, you might have to do some disassembly here. Okay, good. Snug fit. We don't use that stuff. We use this stuff. So Fisher space pin refill here. There we go. So here it is, right? You can see that this was the initial Parker and this is the Fisher, but it's got that initial adapter. And then because this is a DuraClick EDC, it's a little bit longer. So you have to put this adapter on the top. And because this Fisher space pin setup came with the Parker modifier, you can just swap that over. Kind of confusing, but just know that it is a very doable thing. And in order to not have to do that and just use a basic Parker without this little white top there, you could shorten this down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Simple enough, right? Pretty good fit, not a lot of overlap, and we're not sticking out too far. I like where that's sitting, and it is retracted to where it won't write on you, which I think is how it should be. But those are just my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on the fit and finish of them?